Hello and welcome to the Labour Social. I'm joined tonight by Darian and Wayne and Ben. How you all doing, guys?
How you doing?
Not bad,
Hello.
not bad.
Hello. So, lots to talk about this week. We've got the budget. We've got the migration figures going through the roof. We've got COVID. We've got James Cleverly calling Stockton a shithouse. A shithole. And Rishi Sunak can't use a hammer. Apparently, he was told to hit it sideways.
I've just read about that on Twitter. I'm not up to speed on the graphics or the video footage of that. You're gonna have to keep me informed. I just want to say, Wayne, you look even colder than I feel, mate.
Dude, it is absolutely Baltic in Essex. It is so cold.
I've just taken off my big woolly jacket because it looks like I can't afford heating, which I can't.
No,
you look cold, mate.
I've got
Seriously.
I've got the heating on. Did you see the picture in the WhatsApp group?
No.
Yes.
I was walking back from the pub, so I'm now looking like an half-cut Jedi.
He's had a good Jedi night out.
Yeah, but
it is cold. It's cold up here in Durham as well.
Yeah, but
so hang on. What's this about the hammer? Tell me about the hammer.
So Rishi Sunak was at some school or something, and he had to do his little science project, and he had to hit a little nail with a hammer, and instead of hitting it with the end of the hammer, he hit it with the middle part of the hammer.
Of course he did.
So he's in it sideways like this.
No, but
Jesus! I'm surprised he didn't get out his credit card and try and hit it with that.
But no, look,
three times in that description of the Prime Miniature. Sorry, Prime Minister.
Prime Miniature.
Yeah.
Oh, Titchy Sunak. Sorry, Rishi Sunak. No,
good shout.
No, there is a valid use of a hammer that way if you're trying to hit something very gently, and also
no, it isn't.
No.
Well, you hit something with the handle, the wooden handle.
No, not the handle, the middle bit.
No.
So you got a hammer. It's got two.
That is the middle bit of the hammer.
No. The hammer was turned sideways. So instead of hitting
he
side of the head,
it sideways like this.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
But he says he was told to do it. He was told to do it.
So the implication is that Rishi Sunak has never ever in his life used a hammer.
Well, come on, that wouldn't surprise.
Would you believe that?
Shocker.
This is a guy who tried to pay for his petrol using a can of Coke.
Yeah,
that wasn't his. For a car, that wasn't his.
Yeah.
So I mean, what can you do?
I mean,
he's not really lived in the real world.
He's shitting the bed all over the place, isn't he? Like, trying to fill up the car, which is not his, badly, and then trying to pay for it with a can of Coke, and then not understanding the purpose of a hammer.
Well, we just look forward to the next faux pas. What could it possibly be?
Probably.
Do you know what? Should we do like a demo video for him?
We should do a bingo card of things Rishi Sunak has proven he cannot do because he's never done. That would be hilarious.
Yeah, but the thing is, he was smiling all the way through it as well.
Of course he was.
He's like, look at me, I'm a big boy.
Oh, Jesus.
I can imagine when it comes to the general election, his PR boys and the ones doing the election, they'll be watching him through their fingers, won't they? Because he's going to make an absolute faux pas, isn't he? He's going to do something really stupid.
You'd think so, but now he has got the safe pair of hands, David Cameron, to hold his hand. So I don't know whether he'll be making any more because, I mean, did you see there was a picture of him, Cleverly and Sunak, Cleverly and Sunak, walking onto some airstrip. Now, obviously, they'd had a big discussion about where to put Sunak, whether he should be in the middle. And I kind of thought he was on the end. Had he been in the middle, he really would have looked like their adopted child. It is so ridiculous. Yeah, so he was on the end, and he still looked tiny.
But the easy way to get around that is put him in the middle, but stick him a few foot forward.
I see. Very clever.
And cut the angle so it's from knee up.
Or just give him some of those really big sort of orthopedic shoes, those boots with the big high heel. I mean, something. Why has he not tried that yet?
Yeah, he should probably get them through his NHS doctor.
Yeah, that he obviously has and goes to weekly. Yeah. Good God.
It's all getting kind of painful. Can you put up with another year of this, or do you think you go mad? Hey, Thompson's joined the chat. Hey, Aid, how you doing? You can't hear us yet because he's still plugging in.
Aid?
Yeah, and he's using his earphones to keep warm.
He looks the warmest person out of all of us.
And what?
He does.
He looks
the warmest
frozen.
person.
But he's in a shed, aren't you? You are in a shed, aren't you?
Hold on, wait.
Hang on, are we all wearing hats?
Can you see that?
He's got a heater down there.
Stop showing us your balls.
Bro.
We're all wearing hats. Everyone here is wearing a hat.
That's because it's bloody cold.
Hatty hat gang.
I've got the central heating on, and annoyingly, doing the job that I do, all of my radiators are in the wrong place for efficiency in this house. It's a fucking joke.
Well, it's because you got them. Is that radiator covered in laundry there?
It's my boxes.
Right.
They'll start steaming as we go through the show. They're
they're dry. They're dry.
Oh, they're dry now, are they?
I just didn't have time to take them off and chuck them upstairs.
Yeah.
Great.
Trust me, in my kitchen is just there, and then out in my hall, I'll just basically just chuck everything and just be like, right.
Well, listen, guys, I've had 3 beers, so I'm feeling pretty handsy. So if anyone is cold, jealous. I'm happy to hug.
Oh,
bring it on. Bring it on.
Looks like a hugger. A mother hugger.
Not work, is it?
Come here, wee guy.
Oh, okay. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling the love. Feeling the love.
There we go.
So Aid, we were just talking about Rishi and his tiny hammer.
What's
Did
up?
You see Rishi and his tiny
talking
hammer.
about Rishi and his hammer. Okay, cool.
Tiny hammer.
Sideways hammer.
Did you see
is that
it?
a euphemism now? Are we on to euphemisms already?
No, he's just
literally still talking about his hammer.
That was what he did. He had like a little tiny
Yeah, I
hammer.
know. Well, I'm going to have to look up that footage. I was more keen to talk about Cleverly, really, because I just find that one so staggering that he knows that there's mics all over the House of Commons.
Does he though?
And the audio, he does, but the audio clearly reveals him saying, you can't hear the first part, but it's definitely shithole. It's not shit MP. And first of all, he says, no, I didn't say that. Then he realizes it's undeniable. So yes, I did actually. And it's the best defense ever, isn't it? I didn't call the whole of Stockton North a shithole. I called its MP a shit MP, which is a worse lie because he clearly didn't say that. I'm just waiting for the moment when he just has to come out and say, okay, fair enough. But has anyone here ever been to Stockton North?
Yes.
No.
I've never been to Stockton North. So
I
can
don't
anyone
know
know whether it is or isn't a shithole, first of all?
It's no more shithole than anywhere else in the UK, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
whereabouts
right.
is it? I'm going to Google it. Fuck it.
And don't forget, Stockton is the first place that had a locomotive-powered railway line going to the Stockton-Darlington line back in 1825.
You're such a nerd.
He's not just the only nerd here. I went to the Shildon Locomotive Museum only a couple of weeks ago with a friend I had up who's totally into things. And it was very trainy. It was very, very
locomotion.
So I think like there's a couple of things that are interesting about this, just to bring it back to Cleverly. I'm sort of trying to keep myself on a train of thought here after I've had a couple of beers. So the first thing is, yes, so you would expect that somebody like that would know that they were mic'd up to the nines and that anything that they say, even that they mutter under their breath, like Corbyn did a couple of years ago when he called Theresa May stupid woman. And then people like James Cleverly were blowing a gasket like, oh, that's totally unacceptable. You're demeaning the dignity of this of Westminster Palace by saying such language. Yes. And now, of course, the shoe is on the other foot. It's like, oh, let me just dilute shithole to I'm calling you personally shit, and that's okay. I consider it case closed now.
In defense of James Cleverly, I've just seen it's between Middlesbrough and Hartlepool, so he might have a point.
Yeah, but then the other thing I was going to say is like, what does this say about the levelling up agenda? It's like, what happened to levelling up in the sense that before it was like, look, you've lent us your vote. We're not going to forget you. We won't let you be left behind. Brexit was about this, but now we're going to invest in these communities and make sure that they recognize that we recognize them. Here come the billions of investment. And actually, where have we got to after like 4 years of another 4 years of Tory government, is that levelling up is out. And instead we've got shithole towns. Like,
to be fair, that does prove his reference to Stockton as a shithole does prove at least that he hasn't forgotten it. So I suppose he's onto a winner there. He's remembered that Stockton exists. The other thing I was waiting for was presumably Rishi has already come out and given him his unequivocal support. He has full confidence in him. Has that been said yet?
Yeah, he did. Yeah. It was this morning on Sky News. They said, I've got full confidence in James.
So he'll be sacked by next Monday then.
Well,
Joe.
But this is the thing. The Tories, like, they can get away with murder. Do you know what I mean? But the rest of us, you know, he can't discipline his own party, so he disciplines us instead. Says, "Oh, don't you be protesting? Don't you be thinking about protesting?" They put protesters away for 2.5 years. There's proper offenders out there who've actually committed some pretty heinous crimes, like grievous bodily harm, and they haven't got 2.5 fucking years. That's ridiculous. Sorry,
Can I just apologise? Can I just apologise for the people of Essex? Because I just realised that Cleverly's constituency is Braintree, and Pretty Patel was Whittam. Oh God, what the fuck are we doing?
Braintree, what a name!
They're everywhere, mate. Don't worry. But yeah, it's the most ironically named constituency for the most ironically named secretary. It's brilliant, isn't it? You couldn't make that up.
Should be called Brain Fart with him. Yeah. Jesus.
Braintree. Yeah.
Do you think he will? Is he going to resign? Because this feels like to say something like that in Parliament, that feels egregious. That feels like that's. But then if he just held his hands up and he said, "All right, look, it was, you know, emotions run high. It's part of the cut and thrust and blah blah blah." Like Rob said, wanker. He said, stupid woman. We all get a bit carried away sometimes. I apologize. I've gone to go meet the MP in question and I've bought him lunch and we're over it. Like, if he had handled it like a man, like a grown up, then it could have been put to bed. It's the fact that he's lied.
Yeah. But the problem is he thinks he has handled it like a man by actually reducing his insult from hundreds of thousands of people down to just one, Alex Cunningham. And he seems to think that makes it okay because stupid woman was one woman, Theresa May. I don't know who Rob called a wanker. Who was that?
Keir Starmer.
Oh, okay, fair enough. But at least this is one person. One person. Hundreds of thousands of people live in Stockton. And whether it's a shithole or not, how do you really atone for that? But how do you atone for that?
It's deprived. It's deprived, but it's not a shithole.
Your reaction to that reminded me of that, like, I'm Alan Partridge scene where, like, he goes up to the counter and he goes some yobs have just graffitied my car. Have you got any idea what it says out there? And then the girl just goes, "Tosser."
Yes. What was that when they put cock piss partridge or something?
Cock piss partridge, yeah.
Cock piss partridge.
It's great. It's great.
But yeah, I was saying to Wayne just before, wasn't I, on the chat? I was just like, the reason why it's so cold in Essex right now is because of all the Tories. And they're cold, dead hearts.
There you go.
Yeah.
Damn you, Stephen Metcalfe.
Actually, I need to look up whether Stockton voted for Brexit or not. So if they did, that automatically probably does make it a shithole.
I can't believe you don't know that, like, off the top, Graham.
No, I think
Stockton's only a small place. You know, it's not like
it just feels like something you should have prepped like before the show.
Should have done, shouldn't I?
It's like
we could have had like a little wheel. We could have had a wheel, and we could have revolved the wheel around.
Graham, it's like do show prep. Are you mad?
It's official. It's a shithole. The Home Secretary said so. I mean, it's so. And we were talking the other day about like how. Hello, Scott. We've got a Scott.
What's up, Scotty?
Wild Scott has entered the chat. Hey, good to have you, mate. How's it going?
It's so nice to be back after I was thrown out like trash 3 weeks ago.
Whoa.
I should explain. A few weeks ago.
That's on Graham. That's nothing to do with us.
Yeah. Scott went to the loo, right?
Good, Darren. Don't worry.
Scott went to the loo, and I think you turned your camera off, so it just had your name on the video, and it was messing up me the way I had it all set up, and so I
you fucked him off.
Yeah,
I mean, he did like
back.
Graham did call you a shit MP before he did it. So.
That is very true.
And he said where you live is a shithole.
Yeah.
Fighting talk. Nice to see you guys.
Hey,
good
man.
to see you, man.
Yeah, good to see you, man.
Can I ask Scott something? How do you feel as our resident American? I know we're going a little bit off on a tangent from sort of Labour and domestic politics, but how are you
feeling? By the way.
Oh yeah, happy Thanksgiving too.
Well done.
How are you feeling about these reports that Trump is looking like he's dead ahead in like 5 out of 6 key states at the moment?
You're right, man. I'm not worried about it. I think when it comes down to...
Is that because you live here? You think that's going to save you, Scott? You think that's going to save you?
You know,
Are we your
there is
lifeboat?
some privilege that I own at the moment. However, no, I honestly believe though that he won't be president again, and I don't think he'll be elected again.
Right. Okay.
Mm.
Do you think he'll go to jail then?
I think America really did learn the first time around, and I think that polls are probably being, I don't know, I wouldn't say they're being exaggerated or whatever, but I think it's very easy to say at the moment, oh, well, I'm going to vote. But when it comes down to it, when people get in that ballot box, get in that ballot booth, voting booth, are they really going to take Trump's name?
Yeah,
yes, I think they will. Sorry to be Debbie Downer, but like, yes.
Nah.
I mean, just the do you think that Biden's given like a decent alternative to people?
Well, he's not Trump.
Alzheimer's.
Yeah, but that's all he's got. That's all he's got. He's so old.
I don't see why that's not enough.
Yeah,
I know what you mean. And actually, from what I understand of American politics at this stage, Biden hasn't done a terrible job. He's been pretty successful.
Good. But you know what? Hillary Clinton was a pretty good politician. Do you know what I mean? She would have made a really good president. She really would have. But, you know, that's not what Fox News
But isn't that
wants
partly
to think.
because everything Biden's done, in inverted commas, has been done by his team around him and not him personally? I mean, he's got people telling him what to do.
He's put in place, and they've done what they needed to do.
And that's great. The reason I'm not as encouraged as perhaps you are, Scott, is that Argentina.
I
mean,
Millie.
You know, you would have thought after the lessons we believe Britain, America, and perhaps even Brazil had taught the world about what happens when you elect a populist absolute nut job.
Yeah,
they'd gone for the populist nut job. I mean, this one's something else. I mean, when does anyone know when that video was taken of him in the car with the chainsaw? Was that after he won?
I only saw that.
Tell me that wasn't after he won.
No, that was before he won.
Okay.
The thing is, I guarantee Rishi's rubbing his hands together going, oh, yes, new Falklands War. I'll be the new Maggie. Yes.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking as well.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
Could you imagine?
I said something.
He's already flexed on that, hasn't he? He's already said, like, oh, we're going to go we're having them Falkland Islands.
I said something similar, like on my solo show earlier in the week, like how, like to vote for a Trump or to vote for a Brexit in 2015, 2016 is kind of forgivable because you were targeted by digital adverts. You didn't have the benefit of hindsight. But to vote for a right-wing populist now in 2023, after you've seen, you know, the death rate, the COVID death rate, the chaos of Brexit, the total lack of success, the Partygate stuff, to vote for, to look at a Trump and a Boris Johnson and a Brexit and all the rest of it with all that context and then go, yeah, we should try that here. It's like,
and also to pick one that's so obviously a cross between Leatherface and Michael Fabricant.
Well,
what were they thinking? I mean, God.
Yeah,
Michael Fabulous.
Also, look, this isn't just Argentina. The Dutch have just elected Wilders, who's a nightmare as well. So,
you know,
Gert Wilders.
I would love to interview Michael Fabricant.
Are they in the sort of I don't know how to say this. You know, when it comes to Argentina, are they part of, you know, are they going to really understand what's going on in Britain, what's going on in America with that sort of thing? Or is the average Argentinian going to be a little bit more insulated than that?
I know what you mean. Like there's an element of British exceptionalism to our situation where we're like, haven't you seen our Prime Minister and how crazy he was? Like, people don't really care about Boris Johnson outside of the UK, right? So they wouldn't.
Not really, no. It's actually, it's almost kind of pompous of us to sit there and go, well, they've seen all the stuff that we've been through, so therefore possibly. And it's like, well, maybe they haven't.
Yeah, but US.
Okay, well, you're making me calm down a little bit because I am getting really, really concerned looking at the polls that Trump is ahead in 5 of the 6 big battleground states. That dictates who wins the next election. Emma Price, thank you very much for the £2 super chat. Graham, it's not happening. Trust me, he is so done. So fingers crossed that Emma is right. And
I wonder whether the indictments turned into actual prosecutions against him, and
I think
if
that's just going to
that
make him
ends
stronger.
up being the case, will that allow him to will he still be allowed to be president?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Scott,
Yes,
as
yeah,
far
you
as I
can.
was aware, the indictment that comes up for trial in March isn't that the one that's specific to the state of Georgia, which
Yes.
he isn't able,
But it won't be
even
finished.
if he was made president, even if he was made president, he couldn't absolve
Can't-
himself.
No, he can't pardon himself.
for that one.
Yeah, but it won't be
yes.
finished. It
and
won't be
the-
finished. And he wants to take over the Department of Justice. The
And also
executive
the-
wants to take over the judiciary.
The
Selfishness
senator,
yeah.
the senator or the governor of Georgia cannot pardon him either.
Yeah,
Even though
because of
it's a state crime, the federal government can't touch it, and because it is a state crime, the governor or the senator can't pardon him either. It's a completely separate thing. And it's like doing a podcast with Americans, I get schooled on this all the time, and they're all like proper nerds.
So I just want to clear something up. So when I said that Wilders won, he won the most seats. That's what he did. I mean, he only got, as Svax is saying in the chat, he only got about 25% of the vote, and he won't be able to form a government probably, but he got more than anybody else. And then we've got we've got Supertansky in the chat. Hi Tan. She's
going on, Tan.
She's not feeling too well. She's got tonsillitis.
Sick note.
She's got the sick note. No, I got the sick note. It's okay. But thank you, Tan. For your hard work.
Reeling right now, screaming at the screen, going.
She's in the chat laughing.
I don't like her.
She's in the chat laughing at us being a sausage fest, and we're only a sausage fest because Tan isn't here. Tan, you're our smurfette.
Oh God.
But yeah, by the way, if you're watching at home and you'd like to join in the chat, you have to be subscribed in order to join in the chat. And if you want us to definitely read what you want to say, throw in a little bit of a super chat, and we will definitely read your message. Oh,
yeah, I've just shared it all over my Twitters and my Facebooks. So.
Oh, did you? Oh, you dirty bastard!
Yeah. Oh, I should do that too. Shouldn't I?
I'm just like.
Svax is saying Bojo is quite popular in Ukraine, which is unfortunate but true. And it's because
hi folks, would you like some missiles?
Literally the only place it's popular.
He was quite popular on Have I Got News For You. Do you know what he's like though? He's like one of those people that's if you don't know them that well, they seem all right, but once you get to know them, they just turn out to be absolutely horrible. Like me. I mean other people, not me. Other people.
Okay.
Should. Georgia trial date has not been set yet, says Top Gunthered.
No, the Georgia trial date has been set. Yeah, it's March. And because two of the defendants tried to.
I think it's Florida. That hasn't been set.
Yeah,
the
Georgia trial date is early because two of the defendants tried to get a separate trial on their own.
Yeah, federal trial.
Yeah, but the Georgia Georgia judge said, "No, do you know what? We're gonna have to hear the same thing by the same witnesses over and over again. So no, you're all going in same time."
Yeah, but it's going to take a long time because there's so many defendants. It's going to take
3
a long
months,
time.
They reckon.
No, it's going to take longer than that. It'll take a year.
How can it take so long to just answer the question? Did he phone this motherfucker over here and say, "Find me"? What was it?
11,780 votes.
Just check the phone records.
No, just hold up your phone and just play it to him.
Yeah.
Is that Trump? Is it him?
Not you, sir. Well done.
But there's also there was also the plan to have fake electors as well.
Yes.
Which was he had a group of people who were going to go into Congress and vote for Trump, even though he hadn't actually won the vote.
But you say, how can it take so long? I wonder the same thing about the COVID inquiry here. I couldn't believe it when I heard that it was set to go until 2026. That's all of next year, all of the following year, and some of the year after that. How can they not be at the point now where they can just stop everything and say, right, we've worked it all out? It's pretty obvious. The people in charge were completely incompetent, completely inept, had no idea what they were doing. And even if they did, wouldn't have cared anyway. Let's put some prosecutions in place to make sure they never get anywhere near power again. Job done.
Yeah,
Mm.
because
I don't understand how we've got another 24 plus months of testimony to ascertain anything more than we already know.
Lawyers, mate.
Is it because the Tories have got the contract to host it or something?
That's how long it takes. Do you remember the O.J. Simpson trial? That went on forever. It was like Bryan Adams being number one. It went on forever.
Yeah, but at least with the O.J. Simpson trial,
like wet.
Yeah,
but
but
with the O.J.
slightly
Simpson
more.
trial, you got
Love is
like,
all around. Bloody hell.
it was like salacious. At least you got a couple of dead bodies out of it. Like, I mean, like
Exactly.
somebody owes me a couple
Bryan
of dead
Adams?
bodies with this.
No, but do you know what makes me laugh about the O.J. Simpson thing is the fact that he basically we all know he did it, all right?
Yeah.
But he then thought he's got carte blanche to do what he likes, goes and starts fucking robbing up someplace in Las Vegas and gets nicked. It's like,
Yeah.
you absolute idiot.
It was robbing his own merchandise back, I think.
Yeah.
So he says.
Alec Burrett, thank you
Allegedly.
very much for the super chat, Alec. Fortress Falkland is nigh impregnable, and military personnel outnumber islanders 5-1. 500 million pounds on defence spending, 1983 onwards has gone up. So yeah, if he does have a pop. But what really annoys me about Millet and other so-called libertarians, they're not libertarians. If they were real libertarians, they'll be like, everyone is free to do what they want with their own body. But he's actually massively anti-abortion. So he's not a libertarian. He's just a cunt.
No. He's just
it's fascism dressed up as something else.
pan shop dictator. Fuck him.
Yeah.
The hair looks like it was dyed out of from a pound shop. I mean,
Thing is, round those parts, it's a bit easier to get rid of people, isn't it? If you know what I mean.
Oh yeah, they love a little bit of a coup, don't they?
Hang on, what do you mean? Have them taken care of?
Have them taken care of, taken out for a nice meal.
Come down to the woodshed.
Yes. Yes, please. Step onto this plane. We will fly you wherever you want to go. As long as it's the bottom of the ocean. But yeah, there you go. Supertans says they sorry, Aid, I'll bring you on in a minute. Second.
Yeah, okay.
They deliberately drag out inquiries to dull it down and make them seem like nothing. See Hillsborough and Grenfell. Plus they won't prosecute. It's deliberate. Cods, you're not wrong. Anyway, Aid, what were you about to say?
I was just going to say, like, a good solution for the Falklands thing would be if they constructed some sort of game show for, like, islands where, like, people answer questions and then whoever answers the questions, like, right the most wins the island. Might be like
this is a very unique concept.
Yeah,
actually, no, it sounds very familiar.
we need to get onto Endemol. We'll get this fucking licensed.
Yeah, let's do it. I'm up for it. You heard it here first, folks.
I didn't have to answer questions. I had to do like survival stuff.
What, like
it was like
butter bread?
No, not butter bread. I had to build like a shelter out of sticks and make a raft and start a fire. Start a fire with a stick and all that kind of stuff.
I can start a fire with a stick. It's called a match.
Get into a coconut. Get into a coconut without a machete.
Yeah.
Bear Grylls, eat your heart out.
Yeah.
I have to say, so the presenter of the show that I was on, that I won the island on, was Les Stroud, and he's like the Canadian. He does Survivor Man on Discovery, and he's like the Canadian Bear Grylls, and he absolutely hates Bear Grylls. I don't know if I should be telling you this on live YouTube, because they might like play it to Bear Grylls, and they might get very upset.
Allegedly.
But basically, it is said that Mr. Grylls likes to fake everything to some extent, to a large extent, and he's actually staying in a travel lodge.
Should we go full Clarkson and say, some say
he stays in a travel lodge while he's pretending to stay in, I don't know, Pripyat outside of Chernobyl or something. He's not really in Chernobyl. It's just a green screen. I'm not really in a warehouse, and it's not daytime, obviously. I should do a night version, shouldn't I? Quick, to the AI generator.
What is actually behind you? If you turn your green screen off, is it like green and then like where are you?
Hordes of girls. He's got hordes of girls. They're all lined up waiting for him.
Like a fucking Matt Rife gig.
I'm in a spare room.
Rows and rows of cocaine.
Yeah, still there. Yeah.
Good for you, Gray.
I'm coming over.
It's not that
I
exciting.
even like girls.
I've just got
I've got
my props. I've got my props like my pirate hat. I've got my UK for Ukraine thing that I'm doing next week, so that's gonna go. That's
cool.
a sticker.
Yeah.
Sorry, a magnetic sticker that goes on the side of the car.
Oh, Graham, what are you doing for Ukraine next week?
I'm going there to deliver presents. I told you that.
He's Santa.
Graham,
Like
I was trying to give you an in for a fucking plug.
Oh, sorry. Okay, yes. Next week I'm going off to Ukraine to deliver some Lego. We've got 200 boxes so far, and we've got enough money for another 100. So the guys will help me out.
Awesome.
100 tomorrow.
And
I've got to get an international driver's license tomorrow as well. Just found out.
Jesus.
So I've got me stack of passports out. These are my passports. So I'll be using them to get out the country and never come back.
Sorry, international driver's license. Is that because of Brexit?
Yes.
Really? God
yeah.
damn.
£5.50. You've got to take your passport and your driving license down to a post office with a photo of yourself looking peaky. And
you've also been endorsed by Vorders.
Yes. So this is the big news. Last night, Carol Vorderman put out. She retweeted Super Tansky's tweet, which is amazing. It was like the crowdfunder was just like rumbling along, and then suddenly this sort of tidal wave of donations came in. I'm so grateful, and it means that we can take more presents, which is great, but also we can if we've got any money left over, which we might have now, especially if more money comes in, we'll be able to go back for Easter and take Easter eggs next time.
Oh, awesome!
That would be so awesome.
Oh fuck! Fill up a van full of Easter eggs.
So does that mean Vorders is officially a friend of the show?
She is a friend of the show. Yes.
Get in.
What's happening to Scott? Scott, why is Scott having a disco?
I literally just watched RuPaul's Drag Race, and she was a guest on it, which was amazing. So
little Vishy is accusing me of playing like one of the landed gentry. How the hell do you make that? I've got nothing here. I've got nothing in this country. Jesus Christ, I couldn't afford a parking space.
Can I ask a very, very important question? Highly political, very topical. Did you take your hat off for your international driving license?
Yes. Well, I haven't got it yet. I'm getting it tomorrow, but I will have to take my hat off and my glasses.
I think Graham's like the left wing Tim Pool. He's never seen her without his cowboy hat.
Well, you see, the thing is, right, I had this idea that if I ever committed a capital offence, and I shouldn't probably say this live either, but because I used to have long ginger hair and quite a beard and my glasses and my hat, and you know, like when people get in disguise, they put a hat on, they put glasses on, right? And they grow a beard. I was going to do it the other way because it's quicker.
That's called Superman.
I was just going to shave my head and shave all this off and take my glasses off, get contact lenses in and just take my hat off and no one will recognise me.
Can I just
what kind of capital offence are you thinking of committing, Graham?
Yeah.
Well, there are lots of Tories out there, and do you know what? I would like to see justice in this life, not the next.
Let's just drop in some allegedlys everywhere.
Allegedly.
Is it true?
Is it all works of fiction?
I just want to go around with a corkscrew and just scuba dive under the super yachts and just put a little hole in with my corkscrew and then paddle off and then giggle from the edge as the whole thing capsizes and goes underwater. And I'd be like there going, that's what you get for profiting from a COVID pandemic. Hey, you.
Would you ever? Here's a follow-up question. Would you ever take your hat off on a Labour social conference call like this?
No, God, no.
Okay, third question.
I can't.
Third question. Can you confirm or deny that you have a swastika tattooed across your head?
He's going to have to prove it now.
I did actually go out with a Jewish
Scott's
girl
got
for
nothing
4
to hide.
years, Aid, so I think she would have noticed.
Do you still beat your wife?
What's wrong with you people? We're supposed to be talking politics.
I warned you before I came on. I was like, look, I've had a couple of beers. I'm going to be playful. Let's try and drag it kicking and screaming back into the realms of political
Next time we do this, we'll have to get AI to do one of those auto-generated minutes of the meeting. We had a meeting last week where we did exactly that, and we had a blazing row, or we orchestrated one, and it said there followed a frank exchange of views. I think it's brilliant. You should try it. It's very, very funny. It tries to be so diplomatic, and then it sends you the minutes in an email. It's something else. It's very funny.
Yeah.
I'm really liking AI. I'm really liking it. I'm sorry.
Well,
I'm saying it's going to be the end of us all, but
for
making graphics, for doing music, like you can just get some AI generated music. I don't have to worry about bloody copyright all the time.
Dude,
Yeah.
it's the beginning of Skynet. Let's face it.
Yes,
It is. Just go and
yes,
watch.
it
There's a
is.
new film out.
And
with
I,
the
for one,
creator.
welcome
Just
our
go
robot
watch that.
overlords.
It will end up with 1 million of us being nuked by our own creation. It's just not good.
Exactly. It's
And
gonna
also,
be...
in all seriousness, though, it's the voiceovers and the creative stuff I hate the most, because that's putting real people out of a job. I mean, there are people that do voiceovers.
No, it's
And now
not.
they're thinking,
no, it's not, Ben.
yes,
because
it is.
No,
It
because no
is.
one pays for
No.
that crap anyway.
Do?
No, you don't. They
Well-
don't. Minimum bloody wage.
I
Did
don't
you
know.
know-
I think if you're Peter Dixon and you're doing the voiceovers for
Ridion!
exactly,
America's
it's time to
quite
face the music. He still gets paid
Yeah,
a
but
shitload
there's
of money.
Rachel Adedeji!
Yeah, but there's
And
not
also,
many
he
of
would
them.
go apeshit crazy if AA tried to steal his ISP, USB.
Nails bleeding.
Oh, it's
Ouch.
like, this was one of the reasons that
Ouch.
the writer's strike was on as well, wasn't it? And the actor's strike, because basically what they're trying to do is the studios is getting people to sign over their likeness, so then they can use AI to generate them in like as background actors. They get paid a one-off fee, and they get to use their likeness in any sort of, like, say for instance, like a big fight scene. They can use their likeness, and they don't get any like royalties from it at all.
But you know that the cardboard stormtroopers on the Death Star in Star Wars didn't get paid either, because they were just cardboard cutouts. And you know the people in Star Wars Episode 1 in the crowd in the pod race, they were just like copy and pasted across the whole
But that's
stadium to make it
completely
look-
different, though, isn't it?
Why?
I mean, if
No,
they
but
were
this is different.
cardboard, they've got no rights.
How's it different?
Cardboard
Because
cutouts don't have rights.
Hanging out in the background of somewhere is not a job. What are you, a prop?
Well, exactly. No,
Exactly.
I'm not.
Yeah, no, they're actually called extras. They get paid.
I know, but it's not
No.
a real job. Come on.
No, they're called background actors.
You sound like a
Background
Tory with your
actors.
get a real job rhetoric here.
Don't they call them?
I
day
I was
players
thinking the
in
exact
America,
same
Scott? I
thing.
think.
I was like, God, Graham's got a
They're
bit
called
Tory.
day
Graham, get a
Oh
job.
my
What
God.
are you talking
You guys
about?
are going to freak out when you hear about these cartoons they've got these days. They don't have any real people in them.
Graham's done a full heel turn on us.
In fact, my suspicion is that isn't actually Graham.
Matter.
I think that is AI Graham. That's not even real Graham. He's already on the road to
Oh,
Ukraine. He's already
Real
in
Graham is in the
Ukraine.
basement.
Well,
Yeah.
Have any? Can I ask?
That's why I won't take his hat off.
Can
Can't.
I go for like a round robin?
I haven't got the processing power to take my hat off.
Have any of us used AI tools to generate content yet?
Yes.
No.
I
So
did.
Ben's a no.
Yes.
I did it.
Graham's a yes.
Music
did.
and graphics. Yeah.
Okay. So
And
me
also-
and Wayne are the only ones that have. Is that right?
With content, like using AI to clean up audio is an absolute godsend. I mean, that is just one of the best tools of all time. It is. It's the Swiss Army knife of
Because-
making videos.
Yeah, like I'm an advocate of, like, here's where I get really hypocritical is I'm an advocate of the things that it helps me to do quicker. At the same time, I totally see the dangers of it coming down. I don't want it to develop intelligence where it's like, oh, I should overrule all the humans and then run this stuff myself. They just slow me down, so I'll just do it all myself. But at the same time, I'm like, it's difficult for me to totally disparage or dismiss artificial intelligence when I can create thumbnails for videos like that. I can remove all the silences from my like raw cuts of videos like instantly. That's like an hour's job and it's done in like a minute.
Yeah.
What else? I tried ChatGPT, right? I asked it to write a script for a YouTube video last week. I gave it the rough bullet points. I gave it a bit of caveat information, like don't pre-qualify the answers to this. Don't use that. Make sure you like preface questions with casual stuff like when you start a sentence, you say like, I mean, blah, blah, blah. Like I gave it a few of those to like pepper stuff with, so it would sound a bit more like fluent. And what came out was like, it wasn't perfect, but it worked as a blueprint for me to then work from, which I did then work from, and it worked out actually a semi-decent like 8-minute video. So I'm a bit like it's there, it's improving what I can offer to people, But then am I taking something
no.
away from someone by doing that?
You've just run through all the positive, all the good applications of AI that doesn't take away anybody else's income, doesn't take away their job. Well, you see, you could argue it does, but the thing is, you're using it.
No, but you wouldn't pay
I
someone to
would
do
fully
that.
endorse using AI to take out silences from a very, very long speech that otherwise you've got to go through it. You've got to digitally slice them out one by one.
Yeah.
You know, if you can do that, and if you can use ChatGPT to write a speech that you're going to present so that you can get it out quickly and increase your ad revenue, etc., whatever it is.
It's more like it like creates the blueprint and then you refine it. Yeah.
But that's a world apart, though, from an actor signing over their likeness, their image, their voice for all time and getting one lousy fee, presumably, and then finding in 10 years' time they're the lead in a new sort of straight to DVD action film starring alongside Bruce Willis or something. It's
and they're getting shit for it.
And they're
getting you know though this was all Black Mirror. So that episode, Everyone Hates whatever her name was. That was the episode that went out, and then about 3 and in it, it's Salma Hayek, isn't it? And she plays this woman, and her life is being portrayed on Netflix as it happens almost. And
then everyone else's life is being portrayed
and basically 3 days later, the actors' strike started. So the actors watched it and went, "Oh shit, could they do this?" And they're like, "Well, not yet, but they will do soon." And they went, "Oh my god!" And those strikes cost the industry billions. Charlie Brooker, I don't know if he'll ever be able to go back. I don't know if he'll ever be able to go back to Hollywood.
Fucking genius! He's an absolute genius.
Yeah.
But he was absolutely on the money because he was like, "This is what can happen." He was making a dystopia TV show, a sci-fi dystopia TV show. Absolutely on the money.
Spoiler alert, on that particular episode, it showed how many layers deep that particular show was when they, in the finale, how many people were playing other people that were playing other people.
Yeah.
And it was just like, whoa, this is a head fuck. But it's playing out now. It's, you know, he's like what's his name? I forgot his name. The old guy who predicted the future.
Nosferatu.
Nostradamus. Yeah.
No, Nosferatu.
Nosferatu was a vampire, wasn't he?
Nosferatu was he was just a goofy, creepy fuck.
A Thunderbirds vampire.
As predicted by Nosferatu.
So here's a question for you, right? If we accept that movie studios would definitely clone people's likeness and voices and then just use them at will, unless this writer's strike had happened to restrict them from doing so.
Yeah.
And if we understand that deep fake audio technology is out there, which actually I forgot to mention this. So when I'm doing thumbnails, I'm doing like removing silent stuff. I uploaded a sample, just like a minute or 2 minute sample of my own voice to this thing. And it generates like an audio model of my, I just type in the text now and it generates my audio for me of me speaking. So given that all of that technology is there, just to bring this kicking and screaming back to domestic politics, to what extent do you guys think deep fake audio and deep fake video maybe is going to play some sort of horrible misinformation role in the 2024 election?
I have an answer to that. I think that every political statement, every political broadcast needs to have the same thing as, like, you know, when they have the little P in the bottom corner of a TV show for product placement, they need to have that to say that this is authentic. There's got to be some authentication of this particular broadcast, otherwise it could be anyone, because Joe Rogan's had loads of him advertising stuff that he didn't endorse or anything like that.
Really? Like he didn't endorse what was that? Ivermectin, was it? The horse.
Oh no, there's other stuff like that. Did he come out in Europe?
Did he not?
But would that work though? Because wouldn't people using AI technology to create deep fakes just use whatever logo symbol that was? There was it in the corner and no one would know.
Well, there was another instance recently of Martin Lewis, and and it was basically when you saw the video of Martin Lewis, like his mouth, it wasn't quite synced up.
Yeah, it's not quite there. Yeah,
but
it will be.
But he's been online and on TV saying, I will not endorse any product online. I will not. So if you see an advert of me in your timeline, it's got nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
But that's, I mean, the thing is, just like a lie going halfway around the world before the truth has got its trousers on, the damage is going to be done as soon as some really, we're talking about months, I think, not years, until it's up to snuff, and it will be indistinguishable from the real thing. When we're at that point, the damage will have been done. The people that want to believe it will have believed it, formed their opinions, and moved on. And yet, all the right thinking, decent minded commentators and pundits saying, you know what, that went out this morning, it was a load of bollocks, it wasn't real. It won't make any difference. It will to us, because we'll check things out. We're slow thinkers. But to quick thinkers that just go, yeah, that'll do, I've made my mind up now, I'm into that.
This is my fear, is that the same CCHQ that were fine with putting out bollocks like the Fact Check UK stuff, just pushing out misinformation under the guise of, oh, we're a fact check thing, even though they're actually CCHQ. That same conservative campaigning headquarters function will be absolutely fine with constructing deep fake audio of a Keir Starmer or an Angela Rayner saying something that they wish that they had said, that they caught them out on a hot mic. And we sort of saw the first sniffs of that, the first sense of that a couple of months ago at Labour conference, where there was this supposed recording of Keir Starmer having a go at one of his junior staff, going like, no, I told you to blah, blah, blah. Something about an iPad, something about him like dropping the F-bomb, having a pop at one of his junior staff. And it turned out it was a deep fake, but it had gone around Twitter quickly. Like you say, like the lie travels quicker than the truth. And my fear is that people will just take the stuff at face value in exactly the same way as they just walk past a newsstand at the 24-hour garage. They're not really caring about the context or what's buried on page 2 or 3 of the article. All they care about is the article or the deep fake audio. And by the time you get round to correcting them or reprimanding them, the perception is already there that this person is incompetent, that person is racist. You know what I mean?
The media... Sorry to jump in. You know, we had that AI conference last week.
Yeah.
Rishi Sunak, Chortland, Musk's balls. Like, what should have come out of that was a comprehensive blueprint for policy for AI. And what it would include is stuff like, you know, when we got color printers in the 90s, right? And people could suddenly start photocopying money really, really well. They made sure there was a microscopic watermark on everything that you printed with a color printer anywhere in the world. And you could use that to get the serial number of the printer, the date it was printed on, and the location, I think, of where it was freaking printed. It was quite sinister. And people didn't find out about this code till years afterwards. There's not that many AI generators. They're not easy to make. So these companies that are making AI products should have to sign up to a certain license that's given out by, you know, the powers that be on the internet that manage the World Wide Web. And it says, you have to stamp this with an effective watermark, whether it's an audio watermark on a, you know, on a frequency that we can't hear, but, you know, a computer can, to say this is fake.
That's ideal. But with anything that's open source, there will be enough people able to very quickly find loopholes and backdoors into that and modify the technology, put it out there again so it still looks like the original, it looks legit, but it's able to do everything.
But it's drawing on so much data. In order to get access to that data, they've got to go through a proper way of doing that.
Graham, to your point about the photocopiers, if you were to, I mean, I don't know, put a £10 note in the middle of the photocopier and then cut around it and the watermark was in a specific place, it's quite easy to get around that.
No, it's where it's printed.
That
wouldn't work very well, but I mean, it's where it's printed. And plus, you know, you try and edit a picture of a banknote, a real banknote on Photoshop, it won't let you. Piss off. Unless it's a Zimbabwe banknote, because it allows you to use that for some reason. I don't know why.
Also, you never get it lined up perfectly when you turn it over onto the other side anyway. Have you ever tried doing that with a conventional printer? I've only got like a 30 quid Canon printer. The ink costs more than the bloody printer itself. It wouldn't be able to do that. I couldn't do that.
I'm going to say no.
Oh, hello. Right. Hey,
I
I've
like
just
this
noticed all that laundry's gone from your radiator weight.
Yeah, I just quickly dashed it.
I didn't even notice you do that. Wow. AI is amazing.
Exactly.
Nick is saying in the chat, Sunak's probably waiting for an AI upscaling solution to make himself a bit bigger.
He damn well is.
Get himself some Cuban heels.
Yeah.
And little Rishi is saying, if there was to find a silver lining in AI, at least its powerful people seem too worried about it. Whether they do anything to protect us is a different matter, obviously. And Jay Asleen says, Daily Mail and The Sun have been doing it for years, putting out bullshit to people, and they believe it every day. Every day, here's your daily bullshit.
Ben, when you said slow thinking, that says to me, have you read the book Thinking Fast, Thinking Slow?
Daniel Kahneman, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's obviously
book.
when you hear it is a fantastic book, and when you hear that phrase, that term slow thinking, it almost portrays the opposite of what it actually is. But I mean, all of us here will be not necessarily slow thinkers, but we don't just take things on face value. We go, hang on a minute, that just doesn't sound legit. I'm going to scratch the surface and check it out.
Yeah.
Majority of people, and it's not necessarily a stupidity thing, an intelligence thing. They haven't got the time to do it. If you've got 2-3 jobs, you've got a family, you've got all sorts of commitments. You've only got time to look at the headline. You've only got time to absorb whatever AI puts in front of you first thing in the morning and go, oh my God, that shocked me. Didn't know that. And then move on. So I can see how easily it will be able to manipulate people. But as Age just said, we're there already. What the Conservatives did with the fact-checking Twitter feed and it's unbelievable because to all intents and purposes, they completely got away with that. Yeah. They completely got away with it. I can't work out how that was not hammered down on with some kind of, no, you've breached a serious law there. But no, they haven't. It was absolutely fine.
It was almost even worse. To my mind, the Electoral Commission should have stepped in and then said, well, from now on, you are, like, for the next 6 months or for the next year or so, you're restricted from being able to use certain social channels. But it was worse than that in the sense that even Twitter, and this is pre-Elon Musk, even Twitter were like, well, you can let people, like people with a blue tick, a verified, but they can change their cover. Yeah, I don't know if it's really for. I was like, are you out of your mind? You've got like a governing party here who are positioning themselves in a democratic debate, pretending to be a fact check organization,
independent,
to then twist actual reality and pretend that the reality is misinformation. Like, it's so levels deep ridiculous.
It
just
what
ban
I mean.
them. Like,
I genuinely can't understand how they got away with that, and it does set a precedent for the next election, because you can bet your bottom dollar they'll try that again. And the other thing they're doing, of course, is these fake newspapers that they put out in local communities with very believable.
The Lib Dems like doing that.
Okay, all right. But I think the Tories have got the monopoly on that one, and they don't put anything blue on it. There's no Tory logo. There's no tree. There's none of that nonsense. In fact, they often go for green, and it fools people. And it's deception. I mean, it's on the same level as what happened with Twitter. And like A just said, why, like Ofcom, does the Electoral Commission have absolutely no teeth at all?
But when it comes to fighting back against deepfakes and things like that, I mean, we've already primed the other side to dismiss everything as fake news. So we just go fake news.
Yeah.
And they'll oh, no, there's no such thing as fake news. Well, you go on about fake news all the time when you watch it on TV.
Alternative facts.
Yeah, but the worry is that line from 1984 is like, don't believe the evidence of your own eyes and ears. When it gets to that point, it is going to be a bit of a worry. But
this is why
we've been like this
really
for 20 years on the internet. 25 years now on the internet. We've had to learn not to just believe everything that we read.
This is why I think it's really important that Labour begin to fight dirty and start funneling out their own misinformation. And that's why I'm here right now on Labour Social to begin a campaign to say, Tories fuck livestock.
And I'm going to say,
the thing is that
hang on, that's not misinformation.
No.
That's not misinformation. We need to go something a lot wilder than that.
There you go. You heard it here first, guys.
A couple takes my time.
But I've brought this up a few times. How many times have you been in a pub or a social environment and you hear people speaking politics and you end up just biting your knuckles because you don't want to get involved because they're talking absolute cod shit, and you think, And you have to walk away.
It's happened to me a lot because I've worked in pubs and you like I remember around the time of I think it was 2017 election with Jeremy Corbyn versus
it's 2019, wasn't it?
Scott, can you come a bit closer to your mic? You're quite quiet. It's hard to hear what you're saying.
I'm sorry. Is that better?
It sounds the same. Have you got AirPods
he's all right now.
in?
He's all right now.
Okay.
Okay. So I was saying, I've worked in pubs. I think it was was it 2016 or 17? There was an election with Jeremy Corbyn versus
2017.
Is it 2017?
Yeah, 2017 and 2019.
Yeah.
No, there were two. There was 2017 Corbyn versus May, and there was 2019.
Yeah,
Corbyn versus
Johnson.
Yeah. May, and I had to listen to a lot of people really like slag off Jeremy Corbyn, right? And I'm sitting there the whole time going, like, he's working for you. What are you talking about? Like, you don't, and they just repeat the lies that are said about certain people. Do you know what I mean? Because they want to believe it that badly, you know?
Well, that's it. I mean,
I'm not saying Jeremy Corbyn was the best thing in the world. I'm not that guy. But I'm just saying that a lot of people really believed a lot of the bullshit about what right-wing press said about the opposition.
Yeah, well, of course they did. They believed what was written about the EU. They believed that the EU was coming to take away your cups of tea and our polar bears. I mean, for fuck's sake, that's what they put on Facebook adverts. They put cups of tea and polar bears. We're going to be taken away by the EU, and that was sent out to I don't know how many old elderly people who had raised concerns about how much they liked the cup of tea and how much they wanted to save the bloody polar bears.
They were concerned about bananas, and they were concerned about frivolous crap that people like Nigel Farage would say on television, and then everybody would get all upset. Oh my God! Why can't we have many bananas?
Yeah. So
talking. Sorry, go on, Wayne.
I was going to say, older people are worse. There's one particular. I'm not going to name him because he ain't going to fucking say this anyway. He's an old bloke. He's so entrenched in his ways that me and him, we don't clash. We have healthy debates, and I smile and say, look, I'm not gonna pull your pants down on this one because you're old, you own your own home, you're a Tory, you'll never vote Labour in your life. And some of the stuff that he comes out with, it used to be so much better back in the day. I'm like, what? You fucking what?
Yeah, we had smallpox and scurvy and rickets, scrofula.
I'll be like, mate.
Back in the good days when everything was shit.
I've been grafting since I left school in 1997, aging myself there. And I said, I can't afford to fucking buy a house. What, you think I've just been spunking my money up the wall all this time? I said, no. I said, some people
on avocado sandwiches, mate.
Generational wealth helps generational wealth. If I ain't got generational wealth, I've got to start from a point of where I've got to pay to live somewhere. And at the same time, you want me to save up and then buy a house?
Yeah.
How the fuck does that work?
You're paying someone else's mortgage while trying to save up to get your own.
Yeah. And but that correlation doesn't work in their heads because they bought their house for like $3,000 off of Maggie Thatcher.
Yeah.
And now they're like milking it up in like some $400,000 house, and I think, well, I worked hard for my house. I'm like, you fucking didn't.
That is exactly what you're saying, Wayne. Happened on Question Time last night. I can't remember the name of the MP. I'd never seen him before. He had a very funny
Andrew Griffiths.
Andrew Griffiths. Now he was accused by a member of the audience of living in a £4 million house. Isabel Oakeshott immediately comes to his defense with this bizarre strawman argument. She says, oh, hang on a minute, don't knock success. That wasn't what the point of the audience member's intervention was. It was, how can you live in a £4 million house and understand normal people, the 99% of us who don't? But she very cleverly twisted that into, no, you're knocking success. It's great to aspire.
That's what they do. That's what they all do.
It was like,
go chip on your shoulder.
I wanted to get in there and shake her up. I mean, honestly.
Well, she's posh as well. She went to private
How
school.
she gets on? Any of these Tufton Street loonies get on there? I don't know.
Yeah, they all know the handshake. They all know the special handshake.
They do.
Yeah, or with their
You
one
lose somebody.
leg rolled up.
Yeah. Tap the third knuckle.
Horrible woman. Horrible.
The other thing I wanted to bring up now, I don't know if it was on the agenda, but has anyone noticed what Nigel Farage? Because I've been watching some of the clips. I'm not watching the show, but there's a lot of clips out there. He seems to be employing a very clever tactic that he's been advised to do, which is to remain as calm as possible when people get up in his face and legitimately have a go at everything he stands for, to speak calmly to them so that the clip can be edited to make him look like the sane one. Now, it might be a bit of a conspiracy theory I'm edging into, but that seems to be what his close advisors have told him to do. Because this week, that same episode of Question Time, it was again muted that he could be a member of the Tory party, possibly even a future leader. Right. And I can see him using this to position himself as a more rational, even centre-right politician. And he seems to be doing a fairly good job of it. It really, really worries me because the way it's being edited and the way those clips are put together make him look like the calm, rational one.
Someone just put in the chat, Chat Eck has just put in the chat, anyone remember a late 90s TV sci-fi Something Palms, where it was incriminating video could be dismissed as AI fake before AI was a thing? Yes, it was called Wild Palms. It was by Oliver Stone, who was the exec producer, I think. And it was like a response to the success of Twin Peaks. And it was pretty good, actually. Church of the Fathers. If anyone watched it.
Ben, to your point, the entire reason that he's on that show is he's been coached and the agenda is set. The fact that he was at Tory party conference and was being lauded by all the absolute nut jobs, he is being groomed into getting that position. He is being calm and measured, and they can edit them clips up. So when he comes out, he'll be on This Morning,
he will.
Loose Women, all the one show, all of that, and then all of a sudden he's basically rebranded himself.
Yeah,
and then he'll find it because
that's exactly
he's
what
still
going
to be the guy who was in that plane crash, and then 3 years later, the pilot of that plane killed himself, and said it was because he was being harassed.
I didn't know that. Is that
true?
Really?
Killed himself.
Good.
Yeah.
So
we should say you didn't know that. I think more people should know that. If I had my own tabloid,
I didn't know that.
I'd have it on the front page every day.
Out of that wreck.
Right. So with regards to, because I do have a little bit of insight into these TV shows, right? They would have vetted every single person they wanted on there for a specific angle, and they would they've got like little pots that they want to put people in.
Yeah.
And he would have been in that. The Matt Hancock pot, if you will.
Yeah.
So they've put him in there, and he knows that he's going in there to sort of rehabilitate his image, if you will. And everyone else is now sort of like going at him. I mean, I've not seen any of the footage, but I've just heard stuff online and on Twitter and that, or X. And basically, he's gone in there to be a martyr for the far right. So when he comes out, he's rehabilitated. He goes on all the shows, does all that. And, I'm Nigel Farage. I have a beer and a fag. And shut the fuck up, you prick.
I'm already saying it with some of my friends on Facebook.
Yeah.
There's Farage is king of the forest. Oh, king of the jungle, should I say? That's what they're saying.
Yeah.
You're still friends with these people, Darren?
I go watch football with them.
The block button is your friend.
I keep politics out of it. I just go watch the football.
Captain Bart Roberts is asking what plane crash. There was a plane crash in about 2010. Involved a light aircraft with Nigel Farage in it, and he only survived by the skin of his teeth. And he then harassed the pilot for the crash happening essentially. And look it up. Look what happened to the pilot. And hardly anyone knows this. And I think it's something that should be a little bit more publicized myself.
Can I just float a little conspiracy theory? Because I remember some very, very good high resolution pictures of him walking away from that plane crash. How did that happen?
I don't know, someone on the phone camera. Someone saw the plane crash and ran over, and they had the smartphone.
It was a very, very good high resolution picture.
There were quite a few of them covered in blood.
Mm.
Yeah, I saw them.
Lots of people have got cameras these days.
No, but like good a bit like when Kerry Katona goes out on the beach. You know?
No, do you know what? I'll have to disagree with you. I don't think he looks anything like Kerry Katona when she goes out to the beach. I mean, you can say what you like about Kerry Katona on the beach, but there's not a lot of similarities there.
Fair play.
You know, Farage walking out of a plane wreck, Katona on the beach.
It is frustrating to watch what we so blatantly all know. And it's frustrating to watch, as Darren said, his friends literally all fall for it.
Yeah.
And I think that's what frustrates me and angers me is knowing that this is all being planned, pre-planned. As you've said, he's been advised, he's following that advice.
Yeah.
And it's all about this rehabilitation of his image, which generally amongst the leftists, he's a racist piece of shit.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to get swept under the carpet. He's going to be the cock of the walk, the king of the jungle, the whatever it is.
Because he's using deliberately moderate language. I think it was Nella Rose and certainly the cook, Fred. Don't know, can't remember his name. Siri, I think it is. I
don't think he's a cook.
They have their own farm.
He's a maitre d', isn't he?
Something like that. But he was on a show with Gordon Ramsay and the other one. What is his name? Gino De Campo. It was funny, very funny show. But they've been coming at him with legitimate arguments, and Farage's response, far from being the far right response, has been, no, it's not racist to want to limit the number of people coming into our country. That then encourages the person arguing with him to get more irate and more in his face, so they look like the insane one. Yep. You're right. It's being very carefully managed, and as Darren's just said, people are falling for it. I've had discussions with people on Threads recently, and they've been saying, see, Farage says he's not a racist, therefore he's not a racist. That's all they need.
Sorry, just because there's a lot of people haven't heard about this plane crash. So it was May 2010, and he was in the plane, and the reason why there would have been photographers there, Wayne, conspiracy theorist, is because they were towing a banner that said, vote UKIP on the back of the plane, which got caught up in the tail fin of the plane, and it crashed. Upside down, mate. So that's why there were photographers there.
That skywriting was deliberately put there to get into the tail fin so he can crash.
No, it was a banner. It wasn't skywriting. It was a banner.
Absolutely know there is no God. Because if there was, he would not have taken away from that plane.
The final proof.
Get into an argument with anybody of any
It's like a reverse Babel fish.
That's your definitive argument. That is your trump card. You lay that one down at the end. We know there's no God because.
But also, I love the fact that like after this, when they got into the Brexit campaign, like proper, somebody probably knocked on Boris Johnson's door. They were like, yeah, we think you should do like some sort of like transportation, like campaigning, like, do you want to do like a light aircraft? And he would have been like,
no, let's get the zip line out.
Yeah. Bus. Give me a bus.
Yeah.
You know, he was asked to be on have I got a celebrity for you or whatever it's called, Celebrities in the Jungle. Right. He was asked. This is apparently the word on the street is they wanted Boris Johnson, and he said no.
I heard that, and I'm actually surprised he didn't go for it.
Me too.
Paul says the reason why Farage didn't die was that even the devil did not want him.
That explains it.
Yeah, exactly.
So there is no God, but there is a devil.
Well, it's a Faustian pact between God and the devil, which is how he did it.
He was trying to go subterranean, and the devil went, "Nah, you're all right."
This is the thing that gets me, man. Like, it's like, so if you look at like the light aircraft crash, and Farage could have died at that point, right? And then what would have happened to that whole EU, like leave the EU campaign movement? So there's that. And then I look over at the Trumps in the US, and now I look at like, doesn't it kind of weird anyone else out that we live in an era of so much conspiracy theories? And yet you would think kind of ish, like the CIA or like somebody would have stepped in to like assassinate Trump. I'm not saying it should happen.
2 seconds.
But I'm just saying, Like, isn't it surprising?
That's why conspiracy theories are bullshit, because they would have happened, wouldn't it? But you can't. The only time two people can keep a secret is if one of them's dead. And the idea that 1,000 people all got together to make 9/11 happen, and they all kept quiet because they had the morality to kill a bunch of their own people, but there's an amount of money that would keep them quiet. I mean, come on.
The only conspiracy theory I get on board with is like I'm a little bit weirded out.
Go
that
on.
Diana died in the tunnel.
Oh God!
And it was
and she was famous. She was famous, and
the
poor old Mother Teresa. Poor Mother Teresa. Couldn't have been a coincidence.
Why was the CCTV switched off in the tunnel?
Yeah, but the Mother Teresa was in Calcutta, or Kolkata as it's now, and she just died, and she was famous.
Why are you changing the subject?
I'm not. She died at the same time.
No, because her death was famously overshadowed by Diana.
You just don't care. You just don't care about Mother Teresa.
Yeah, but if you scratch the surface into Mother Teresa, she wasn't all that. She really wasn't.
Why have they got a security camera in a bloody tunnel anyway?
Hang on a minute. For the same reason, the security cameras failed outside Epstein's jail cell. I mean, it happens.
Right, we're going for conspiracy. We're going for conspiracy.
If you're going to assassinate a princess, you don't do it by getting the driver drunk and crashing him into a wall so he dies.
No, they had no seatbelts. They were all drunk. Blah blah blah. But the Epstein one.
You have to pay someone to do that. Hey, listen, we've got a secret mission for you, ex-SAS fella who's now her chauffeur. We want you to kill yourself. Why? Because Princess Diana needs to die. Why? Because she's far too popular, and if we kill her, then no one will ever talk about her ever again.
Well, hang on. Some conspiracy theories have a little bit of credibility. The Epstein one, surely.
What if she has... No, hang on a sec. What if she has a Muslim baby, and that Muslim baby gets in a time machine, goes to the future, and becomes the heir to the British throne?
What do you mean?
Ever think of that? No, you only think of yourself.
Okay, well...
No.
Let's think of ones that have actually been proven. The Gulf of Tonkin, where the Americans blew up their own boat to get into Vietnam.
They're not conspiracy theories anymore, are they? They're proven facts.
They're proven.
They're not as fun. Not as fun.
They're not as fun.
Right? And also the Ghislaine Maxwell stuff, right? If she's being charged for trafficking people,
yes.
Who are the victims and who are the culprits? The list has never been revealed.
Yeah, but this is my point about the CCTV on Epstein's cell. I think that's a conspiracy theory that holds a lot of weight, because does anyone really believe he just killed himself? The number of people that he could have implicated in a trial,
very rich, powerful people,
huge. He was taken care of to stop that happening.
So what we have there is a motive, opportunity,
They're still not been proven, so therefore
no victim.
Yeah, but like with Diana, there was no motive. What was the point? What was the point of taking her out at that point?
Yeah, but you've just mentioned her Muslim baby that could come back.
I was a joke because
that was a joke.
I don't think they would get into a time machine and then magically become the king of England somehow.
We'll stay on that same
even though they
train.
were divorced at that point.
Robert Maxwell just fell off a boat.
Exactly. That's my point about the princess. If you're going to knock off a princess, right, you just push her off the boat.
No, there's too many paparazzi to see that.
No, you at sea, mate. You're in the middle of the open ocean. There's nothing for hundreds of miles in any direction.
How many pictures?
Oh, look! Check out the dolphins, love. And she goes and looks over, and you're like, look, the dolphins down there. Whoop, push her in.
News of the World was awash with pictures of her and Dodi Fayed on a boat. Right, you're telling me?
Because they were just off the coast of Saint Tropez. They weren't in the middle of the open ocean. There'd be no one out there. Just get out.
You're clutching at straws now, mate.
What?
You're clutching at straws.
No, I'm not. I'm saying this is how you would knock off someone who is rich and famous.
We're circling right back now to the capital offence that you're planning to commit. Now, obviously, it's not Diana.
Yes. Exactly.
You are now princess. Are you thinking of having taken care of?
Come on to my yacht. I've got such jellyfish to show you.
Graham, did you catch that super chat?
Yes. Emma Price, thank you very much. Mother Teresa was evil. Christopher Hitchens, yes.
Yeah.
She delighted in poverty, and the pain of poverty got her off, unfortunately. And he played the devil's advocate, because that is actually a job in the Vatican when she was getting beatified or turned into a saint, and he had to make an argument why she shouldn't be made into a saint. And he said, because she was horrible. Basically, he did not like her. No, he did not. One little bit. Yeah. So there you go. I wasn't really defending Mother Teresa. I was just making a joke because she died.
No, I know, but she's still well regarded, I think, globally amongst most people who don't scratch beneath the surface as this paragon of virtue, which she
I only found out yesterday or the day before on the anniversary of JFK's assassination on the 22nd of November 1963 that C.S. Lewis and Aldous Huxley died as well on the same day.
No one cares though.
Like Farrah Fawcett died at the same time as Michael Jackson. So they always come in twos,
really?
don't they?
Yeah, they do. They do. Alan Rickman, David Bowie.
Yes.
I think that was the day after, but
I know, but like one gets overshadowed by the other, and you're like, you bastards.
Yeah.
Oh, Elvis Presley died. I think Elvis Presley died on the same day as Groucho Marx, I think.
Really?
Quote me on that. I don't know.
didn't know
Don't
that.
quote me on that. Just check.
Imagine
Someone
how
check it.
bummed
Someone
out you'd
Google.
be, like, if somebody really important in your family died, and then everyone that you spoke to was like in tears, and you were like, "Oh my god, you've heard? Like, my husband's died," or like, and then they were like, "Oh
Nigel
no,
Farage just died.
Ant and Dec died in a plane crash." You'd be like,
Right. Aid, I'm telling you now, you've done commentator's curse. If something happens to Ant and Dec, I'm coming for you.
And get pushed off a boat in the middle of the ocean.
Yes.
if something happens to Ant and Dec, it was all
Yes,
the
looking at
conspiracy.
jellyfish.
Yeah.
Maggie has said in the super chat, the only person who survived that car crash was the only one wearing a seatbelt. Diana died because she didn't wear a seatbelt, which is true.
Yeah, but still, man, the CCTV, right?
Oh, for God's sake, stop going on at the CCTV. Jesus,
It's a bit weird.
A bit weird.
It's a bit weird.
Have you never had a mad, mind-blowing coincidence happen to you?
Oh, well, again, like the Pentagon. There's only one bit of footage.
Oh
from
God,
that,
no.
Actually, yes. What was the coincidence? So I had a guest on my show earlier, and we both he pulled out a reference to what's that old Charlie Brooker and Chris Morris show?
The Day Today.
No, Nathan Barley. Yes, and he was wearing a T-shirt of Nathan Barley with the bat. What's the the bat thing? The show that the guy. It was.
They used to write for a newspaper that was called Sugar Ape, didn't they?
I can't remember, but it was something to do with bat. Like his Nathan Barley's website was called something bat or bat something. And I was like, "Oh, I like your T-shirt. That's a bit weird." And he was like, "Oh yeah, it's from Nathan Barley." And I was like, "How weird is that?" Because I never talk about Nathan Barley. I never hear about Nathan Barley anymore. And yet, yesterday, I think I mentioned it in our chat, Graham. And now today, I see a guy wearing a T-shirt. It is a bit weird, isn't it? What is the universe telling me?
Speaking
That's not weird. Come on, mate. I've had some. Have you not had any better coincidences than that? I'll tell you a boss coincidence, right? Like just before Wayne, right? Well, there's a couple. There's one where I got on a cruise ship that I managed to wangle a free ticket on off the coast of New Zealand. And on the first night I was there, I was walking through to the restaurant, and they said, "Oh, you're on your own?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "Do you want to sit with people or do you want to sit on your own?" I said, "Oh, I'll sit with people." Sat down next to a woman who was British. She was from Liverpool. She wasn't just from Liverpool. She was literally from the road opposite me mum and dad's house. And I was on a yacht. Sorry, what are they called?
Did she know that you have a swastika tattooed to your
He was pulling his hat down.
I've got a better one. One of my favourite ones from when I was travelling, and I've told this one before. I was in Dubai. It was a Friday night, and the weekends there were Friday, Saturday. They're not Saturday, Sunday. So nothing was open. And I went out with mate Damien, who's from Manchester, and we went to a place called Rock Bottom, which is like the underground bar beneath a restaurant, a hotel somewhere. And there was a couple of guys playing pool, and we were sitting there. We wanted to play pool, and we're drinking these cocktails and things, and then we said, do you want to play doubles? And they're like, yeah, sure. And the guys, one of them was British, and he went, I recognise you, because I had my TV show on at the time, in UAE. And I said, I'm trying that guy going to every country. And he went, oh yeah, I've seen that. That's great. What are you doing in Dubai? And I said, well, I'm trying to, I'm waiting till after the weekend because I need to talk to the logistics manager of CMA CGM, who is a big logistics firm, big shipping firm around the world, because they've helped me out with a couple of boats so far. And they've got a boat that leaves in a couple of weeks' time for Pakistan and India. And I really want to be on that boat. And he went, you're not going to believe this, pulls out his business card. It's like literally the first person that I've spoken to in this city on the day that I arrived. And it's Barry Dinage, logistics manager, CMA CGM.
Wow.
Fucking hell.
I can top that, actually. Right, so here we go. Are you ready? So years and years ago, I went to Australia, and I was staying in a hostel in the Cross, in King's Cross in Sydney. And I got a job in a bar, and I went down to this bar for my day shift. Got behind the bar. I'm just like cleaning up all of the taps and everything. Anyway, this guy comes in, and I could like detect an accent. And he comes up and he like asks for a beer, and I start pouring the beer, and then I turn my head up like this, and I looked at him, and I got talking to him, and then it turned out that both he and I had both fucked.
Oh my God, Aid! How did you not recognise your own father? What is wrong with you?
To go. I just wanted to leave it on that.
How did you not recognise your own dad's balls?
I love you, Graham. I love you. I'll see you tomorrow, man. Thank you very much, guys. Bye.
That was a proper mic drop.
You dirty bastard.
Yeah, I was gonna say mine, but I don't think I'll bother now. That's just killed it.
I had
He was just upset because I'm like, coincidences happen.
I had one instance of that sort of last year. We was it last year? Yeah, it would have been last year. We went out to Gran Canaria, all right, and was in the pool doing the old typical water polo thing that they do in all the pools. I'm sitting there with my silly hat on, playing water polo, and this geezer next to me starts going, well, banging on about West Ham. I was like, oh, West Ham, you West Ham fan? I'm going on, like chatting away. Turns out he's from Basildon. He goes to one of the pubs that I frequent. I'm like, the fuck you doing? What is this? I've flown 4,000 fucking miles, and there's some twat from Basildon.
Yeah.
I was just I'll put it over here. Get away from you people. Why are you following?
Exactly. Yeah, I've got something similar to that. I think it was about 2007, somewhere around there. Went to Tenerife. Me and my wife and a few family. Had a bit of a couple of family bereavements, so we just decided to get away from it. We went a week in Tenerife, and we went to a bit of an excursion, a bit of a Wild West thing, and when I was a kid, when I lived up at my mum's house, I had one of my best mates lived next door to me. He had the same name as me, and I've not seen him since I'd left and all that. So anyway, was sat there having a few drinks with her, watching my daughter doing whatever. She's running around like a lunatic. And I looked around, and he was sat next to me. As a full-grown bloke. I'm not seeing him in over I bet it's a good 20 plus years.
Did you recognise each other like straight away?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
That's a weird thing about, meeting people that you hadn't seen for years, since you were kids, and you still recognise them.
Yeah.
Even though
my wife, she says, do you know, that's bloody typical of you. Can't take you anywhere with that. You recognise somebody, meeting somebody you already know.
I'm a bit like that. I'm gonna chip off to you guys because I gotta get up really early in the morning to go to work tomorrow.
Okay, well we're gonna wrap up. We're gonna wrap up at 1:30. So if you want to just stay on for 5 minutes, Scott, or do you want to get off now?
No, I'll stay on for you. No problem.
Okay, so I'll just do last things, which is usually just to go around talking about a news story that struck a chord with you this week. We'll start with Wayne. Wayne, what news story has sort of stuck out to you? Was it the budget? Was it the migration figures? Was it the COVID inquiry?
No.
Was it the shitholes?
No, the thing that stuck out to me was something that James was talking about today, which was the justifying yourself as someone who is perceived as a migrant to this country, and you have to justify the whole "where are you from" thing, because I fucking hate that. I proper hate
my whole time here. Even as an American, I still have to explain to people how I'm here. I'm questioned on it every.
It's ridiculous, but you get it because of your accent. I get it because of my skin color, even though
which is completely different.
No, I'm not trying to take away from your thing.
No, I'm trying to take away from you.
Because even last time you was on, I asked you like what state you were from,
right?
But that's me just trying to be
trying to find out a little bit about me. I get it. Yeah,
exactly. But when people say it to me, and I'm like, I'm from Basildon. Oh yeah, but where are you really from? Oh, here we go. Here we go.
Doesn't sound like I'm really from.
Yeah,
I'm really from Basildon. It's like, you know.
Exactly. I couldn't be more Basildonian. I'm a product of my environment, and when it's just like, oh, fuck off. So that story really sort of chimed with me earlier, because you had all these doctors ringing in, and there was a Polish lady, and same thing for you, Scott. She was a Polish lady, but because she's white, no one asked her where she was from until they heard her accent. Whereas me, where are you from? Straight away. And I was just like,
do people say where you're really from when you say Basildon?
All the time, mate. And then I just double down.
Do you say to them, that's really quite offensive, dickhead?
No, I just smile, because I know the conditioning, and I just say, look,
you should say to them, where you really from? I want to meet your mum. Is she hot?
Yeah. Does she like the BBC?
Oh my god, this is degenerating, this chat. Highbrow, politics chat descending into
Join us next week for more intelligent political debate.
Now we're going to the OF. Me and your mum.
One of those, by the way, Wayne.
But I feel bad, now if you meet someone who has got a strong accent and obviously wasn't born in the UK, and I want to talk to them about where they're from, because I've probably been there. But I don't want to ask them, because that stigma now of
hang on, no, it's not. You can ask them where they're from. I think the point Wayne was making, that once you've asked them where they're from and they've answered you, you then don't say no, but where are you really from?
Yeah,
I mean, that's the thing. Or where are your people from? And that's what happened with that woman in the royal.
Yes. She asked her 15 times or something.
Would not shut up.
Yeah.
But where are people really, 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 really,
really from?
That's the interrogation that you get. It's like,
if someone asks me where I'm from and I tell them I'm from Norfolk, it's a shitty little backward county in England, they don't then say, yeah, but where are you really from?
Yeah, look at my webbed hands.
That's the end of the discussion. Yeah, that's the end of the discussion. Look at my webbed hands sewn into my clothes. Yeah, Jesus.
So Ben, what was your news story of the week?
Well, I'm not going to think of anything deliberately original. It's got to be the James Cleverly shithole comment. Really, I'm just like you. I'm just staggered that he didn't realise that. I mean, presumably he was sitting pretty close to a mic. He was not a million miles away from the Prime Minister. It's going to get picked up. To then deny he said anything, and then say, "Okay, I did say something, but I called him a shit MP," which makes it all right, is so bizarre. When you don't even have to clean up the audio, he clearly says shithole.
Yeah,
he did
say
shithole.
You don't call another human being a shithole. You call a place a shithole.
It's not that you've got the dispatch box mics right in front of you, and you've got the drop down mics ahead of you if you're on the front bench.
That the ultimate crime of most of these awful MPs on the Tory front bench is that they are stupid. They really are that stupid. Aside from all the other tendencies they've got, the fascism, the incompetence, the lack of care about what they're doing, they're just not bright. They're really, really not very bright people.
They're not very cleverly.
Not at all.
Oh, fucking hell.
Scott, what was your news story of the week, mate?
Well, if we talk about news stories that sort of bothered me, obviously the autumn statement and the way that they're talking about taking away benefits from disabled people. It's literally that hits really close to home because I look after a disabled person, and it's very frightening. And it really shows a lack of any empathy at all. And it was really like kind of shown last night. I watched Question Time, a little bit of Question Time last night as well, when Isabella Oakeshott was talking about it. And she actually said, well, after you just muck around for those 6 months, it is this attitude that people that are disabled or going through some sort of mental illness or something are just dossers, and they don't really want to work, and they don't really want to be part of society, and that they are just, a burden. And it really has been upsetting for me, and see it. And we call the Tories the nasty party, and it's almost like a little bit of a joke, but that this little policy that he actually so smugly announced in the House of Commons this week. I mean, it's gone beyond the nasty party.
It's disgraceful. And it's interesting that you got someone like Isabel Oakeshott, who was born rich. She went to private school, of course, and she doesn't have to work. She could have just lived off daddy's money for the rest of her life if she wanted to.
Yeah,
she'd go around backpacking around the world. She could live in Thailand for 2,000 years, probably.
Yeah, but she's learned this attitude, this point of view that.
No, but it's hypocritical because they're saying that, like, if people are just given money, then they're not going to want to do anything with their lives, and it's not true. She was given money, and she's still popping up on TV like a dickhead every verse ends, giving a pontification for some reason. But like the idea that there's so many people who are really struggling right now, and the best way to help them is to take their benefits away, take them free medication away.
Yeah.
Take their medicine away. Oh, that person's sick. Oh, they're not doing so well. Okay, we'll take their medicine away. That'll learn them.
I think it really was a new low where really I didn't think and they could get any lower.
Yeah. No, you'll be surprised.
That's my story.
Scott, you're absolutely spot on, mate.
Depressing one, but I think it needed to be said, and there's something really wrong there.
Yeah,
Scott,
I agree.
Scott and Graham, to both your points where you're bringing that, she's already got money and yet she's still managed to get success. That completely shoots the anti-UBI argument down.
Yeah, exactly.
Bucks it right off.
Yeah, because people don't. I mean, people, if they don't have mental health problems, physical health problems, the stress of just trying to keep their head above water, they will go out and do stuff that is productive. That's what humans are like. It's basic human psychology. The vast majority of people do not sit around for their entire life playing PlayStation, because there is a point, a moment of realization where people are like, well, I'm only here once.
But that's if they are capable of having that realization. I have a mentally ill brother that suffers with autism. He doesn't live in the world that we all live in. He just doesn't, because of his conditions, and he's never worked. So what's going to happen? Oh, well, he's medicated for schizophrenia, so we can just send him out to work now. That's
the other thing.
And don't forget as well, Scott. Sorry, Ben, can I just chip in?
Go on. Yeah.
The Tories wang on about how diversity and inclusion, which allows and facilitates people who are disabled, who are suffering from mental health problems, to get into work. They're saying these programs are woke and we need to get rid of them. Yeah. And they're a big waste of money. So on one hand, they're saying we're going to take away the tools that people need in order to do these jobs because we think that's woke. And then we're saying that they have to get these jobs. And it's like almost as if they don't really give a flying fuck about anyone but themselves. Sorry, Ben.
I was going to say, linked to what Scott was saying. I think it was Jeremy Hunt was questioned this week. Someone said to him, "Why are you demonizing people with mental, physical disabilities, people that can't work?" And that was emphasized. And his response was, "No, we're not demonizing them. We're liberating them. They all want to work." Now he's living in some kind of parallel, another bubble, where he genuinely believes that anybody not working wants to work, which I'm sure is true, but he's taken that to the next level, which is they should be working. We're going to make sure they are working, even if they can't and aren't capable. And
we're not going to give them the tools
that
to be able to
narrative
work.
Gets out there, and people start to think, yeah, the Tories aren't demonizing disabled people. They're trying to liberate them from their own laziness. And this is the kind of narrative that gets out there and can't be refuted. And
what you mean, some kind of like work brings freedom?
Very much.
Yeah, it sounds very familiar.
I've heard that before somewhere.
I've read that before.
Yeah. I think it was in German.
Well,
it was on a gate.
Even using the
over
word,
the gates,
even some sort of camp.
Even using the word liberation is patronizing.
It is. It is. Yeah.
That's to say these people are living in some sort of prison. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Look
what we done for you, and you're like hobbling to your fucking job.
Oh, great! Thanks a lot. You just made my life 10 times worse.
Cheers, bruv.
Yeah,
so
it's not liberation
saying it in the first place.
Their money and make them go out and earn money at a low wage and all that. What you're saying is true. Sorry.
But we have to remember why they're saying this. They're saying this because they know it does play to their base, and there will be a huge number of people listening to that believe it.
Personally, I'm hoping this isn't going to happen. Like, there's not going to be time for it to happen.
No, there won't be. I don't think there will be.
No.
Yeah, I'm hoping that, if the rumors are true about a possible spring election, that, all this stuff's just going to get thrown away anyway.
It is. Yeah. And also, I think what we can expect to see over the coming months is Rishi trying to create some kind of legacy for himself. And I think that can only be, in his mind, surrounding AI legislation. So I think that's going to take precedence over all these silly threats that are just playing to the base.
But I think it's the India-UK trade deal.
Well,
as soon as that's out the way, he's
you
won't see him for dust, mate.
Yeah.
Possibly.
A billionaire.
Enough people now
he will leave this
that
country a
benefits his
billionaire.
wife. That benefits Infosys more than anybody else.
Yes, exactly. It doesn't benefit Britain. It doesn't benefit Indian people living in India. It benefits Infosys.
But no, like Scott, I don't think a lot of these threats are going to come to fruition because there simply isn't time.
That's why he's brought Cameron in, because Cameron's going to be working 24/7 now on the India deal. That's why the first person he met was his Indian counterpart. On the first day, even before he sat in a cabinet meeting. Davin, quickly, what would you like to say is your story of the week that was sort of chimed with you?
Good or bad, good or ill? Basically just I was going to talk about the taking the benefits away, because it's rather chimed strong with me, because as for two reasons. Basically, for the first reason, somebody who worked for the council for 30 years, I was doing heavy lifting, lugging all sorts of situations to a point where my back gave out. And when I had to have emergency spinal operation, the guy who was doing the operation, he said, "Have you done a lot of heavy lifting?" And I said, "Well, yeah, for over about how many years?" And he says, "I can tell your back is knackered. It is kaput." So I'd have a disc removed, and my mobility shot to pieces, and I would love to see what job they offer me. Manchester, I can't see it now, because I had to take it to court, all the way to a tribunal, to get what I was owed. It came to the point where when they wouldn't, it comes to they go through with for the essay or whatever, and then mandatory reconsideration, that's the word I'm after. They said no, so I took it to a tribunal, and the judge, and they've got the medical records and this and that, and somebody into it, and they quickly basically said that what they said is bollocks. It's basically said I should have been given 15 points on its own, because if I go out, I have to go with a cane, whatever.
Yeah.
And not just that, I also have, like you with you, Scott, I have a son who's autistic, very, very vulnerable. And the one thing I've always remembered when I worked for the council for 30 years, people with special needs, they were properly taken advantage of, to a point where one of them was assaulted in a shower by another man, and another guy who was clearly autistic, and they just didn't understand his traits. Because, like, when it comes to your brother, he likes structure, doesn't he?
They have to have structure. He has to have structure.
Yeah. A quick story, and I'll be brief. When we worked for council, it was a change of uniform, but because it's a change, he didn't like. He didn't like it, and if
Won't be able to cope.
Yeah, he couldn't cope, and he had a bit of a meltdown, and that was it. They were gonna throw the book at him, and I said to him, and I said to the manager, I said, just out of interest, do you know what type of what on the spectrum of autism he's suffering with? And they looked at me as if I had 10 heads, 5 eyes, and 4 mouths. And I says,
Government don't care about things like that because they just want workers. They just want people that are.
Yeah.
They don't understand. The whole thing is so flawed.
Yeah. It's just mean. They're just being mean.
Care. They just don't care, and I can't wait for the day that they are out of office.
Oh, wow,
and all these Tories, hundreds of Tories, each respectively crying their eyes out in a sports centre somewhere at 4 a.m., 2 a.m., 1 a.m., fucking 11 o'clock, mate. The polls just closed an hour ago, and it's that much of a landslide. They know they're out of a job.
Yeah.
And no one's going to want to employ these bastards afterwards because, why would you? They're going to have no power, no influence over anything, ever again. And, they're thick as pig shit and they're mean. They're just horrible, horrible people that no one in their right mind would want to be associated with. So hopefully this is it. As someone said in the chat a couple of weeks ago, every day that passes now is a day closer to the end of this Tory tyranny. But
what we have to do, Graham, before we wrap on that front, is if Labour do get in, we need to be holding their feet to the fire. Absolutely. Every single fucking day.
Oh, yeah. That's one of the reasons why Labour Social exists. Yeah, I mean, we're not going to stop doing this. We're not going to think the game is over. It's obviously not. There's still going to be loads more to do.
We ain't getting on those sun lounges and saying, we're cushy, we've got in.
Yeah. I'm really liking the idea of having a couple of weeks of like digital detox at the end of all this and just unplugging my phone and going to sit on the beach somewhere. Before we wrap up, I just want to say a big thank you to everyone who's chipped in tonight with the super chat and who's chipped in with just chat, which is really nice of you. I'd like to say thank you to my guests, Darren and Ben and Scott and Wayne. And also, we're going, as you probably know, watching this, but some of you might not. Next week, I'm going to Ukraine to drop off a bunch of Lego, a van load of Lego, and that's going to go out to kids who are in Kharkiv in Ukraine. So if you would like to help us with that, we think we're pretty much all right now for the funding to go and do this. But any extra that comes in, it just means that we can get a few more presents. We can also fill any spaces in the van up with humanitarian things like, nappies, sanitary towels, things that people need that they can't necessarily get hold of over there. So we'll be taking that over as well because we don't want to, waste the journey in any respect. So that will be starting on Tuesday this week, and I'm going to be live casting from the road on the Labour Social channel. So if you'd like to watch that, just look it out here, subscribe, hit the bell notification icon, and you'll get a little buzz in your pocket when we go live. And you can watch us on the road, me and Adam, who is ex-military and doesn't share the same political opinions as me. So this should be interesting.
That's going to be fun.
So,
Graham, can I chuck in a little plug? Is that all right?
Yeah, go on. You plug away, my friend.
So I'm Wayne Maker from the BIM podcast on Twitter or X, Wayne A Lynch 1, and we go live on Twitch every Thursday at 8 o'clock, except for yesterday because the filthy Americans decided that it was Thanksgiving.
Oh, that disgusts me.
Didn't even say thank you to us, and we invented them.
Cool.
Scott's given me a really nice greeting there. A lovely salute. But yeah, if you could follow us on on the Twitch and on the YouTube. It'd be much appreciated because Graham, cross-pollination, likes to come over and
yeah, I've been on the Bin podcast 3 times now.
Yeah.
4 times I get a special hat. It's like this, but golden. That's what I hear.
No, it'll be like this.
Oh, brilliant. I was once the baseball cap.
Well, can I do a very quick plug as well then?
Yeah, Ben. 16 Million Rising.
I'm Ben, and I do a little radio show called 16 Million Rising SMR, which you'll find at 16 Million Rising, or one big long word with 16 as a word, .co.uk. And I'm going to be interviewing filmmaker Ken Loach in 2 weeks' time, which would be very interesting because, of course, he famously is BFFs with Jeremy Corbyn, pretty much sat on the fence when it came to the referendum. But his latest film, The Old Oak, is set in 2016, just after the referendum, and it's all about racial hatred. It's all about a community of Syrian refugees integrating with a Pit community in County Durham, and how they fuse together. And it's bleak. It's very, very bleak, but it's fascinating. And I'm very much looking forward to speaking to him. So if you want to listen to my little show, it's it goes out every Monday, but you can listen whenever you like on Mixcloud, Alexa, your podcast platforms. It's on all of those. And I'd very much like you to let me know what you think.
That's very cool. Okay, cool. Brilliant. All right, and Darren, your Daily Blase as well. You've got a channel on YouTube. So if you want to follow Darren, Daily Blase, it's BLASE, Blase.
I have nothing to plug.
Scott's got nothing to plug.
Just our resident filthy American.
Yeah. Come and hang out.
Your Thanksgiving and your turkeys. So yeah, if you would like to chip in for our trip over to Ukraine, it is uk4ukr.com. Really easy to remember. I'll just put it into the chat there. And until next time, thank you so much for watching. And I'll say hello, good evening, welcome, and goodbye.